So, hun, who's our special guest this week?
Well, today is one of our old friends that's a great songwriter, a great piano player, and a great singer. This is Jamie Teachner.
I grew up in a small town called Feek, Missouri, and it's a really wonderful town, little small rural farming area, and family musicians. Everybody played in my family, and it's just what you did. It's kind of like growing up in a family of carpenters. You know, you're going to know how to drive a nail, and so by default, I knew how to play music. It was just like osmosis or something. And if you didn't know how to play, you're sitting on the couch. And I didn't want to be sitting on the couch. And so my dad was a rockabilly musician back in the 50s and 60s. And naturally, I started listening to his records, like, you know, the old Sun records, like Jerry Lee and Carl Perkins and, you know, all that great stuff. When I was 9 years old, I played my first gig for money. And I remember at the end of that night, I got 65 bucks. And I thought, man, I don't want to ever do anything else again. And so I decided, I promised myself when I was 21, I'd move to Nashville. I barely made it. I moved here on about 5 hours before I turned 21. As quickly as possible, I landed my first publishing deal with a company called Murrah Music. I met Rory at the office, and he was there, and we were there for a Bible study, actually, is how we met. And so the next week, we wrote our first time. I wrote a song called How Do You Get That Lonely?
How do you get that lonely?
And Blaine Larson recorded that. It was my first radio hit. It was on the radio. I went on to do a lot of cool things. I got to play on Good Morning America with him and the Grand Ole Opry, a lot of dreams, you know, just because of that song, and I'm really grateful for that. I went on, and I've had songs recorded by Luke Bryan and Trace Adkins and Montgomery Gentry and Gretchen Wilson and Trisha Yearwood. I'm very grateful, you know, that the Lord has allowed me to have these songs recorded by these great artists that I'm really proud of. I've always known that I was only being true to about half of myself musically. And I moved to Nashville for a reason, and I knew that the dream was to come over here and record my own album. I've been in the studio recently, just busy recording my debut album that I just released called The Departure by myself. And I'm just so excited to see where this next chapter is going to take me.
Dewdrop dripping from a cherry tree, butterfly talking to a honeybee, hummingbird humming that birdman fly. He goes out on a limb in the shade and cries and cries. Some wings kiss the sky, some go there in stages, some lose the will to fly, some free birds have cages. Woodpecker pecking on a hollow tree says that cat won't listen to me. Underneath the flicker of a lightning bug, he just sits around mourning for his turtle dove, his one true love, his only love. Some wings kiss the sky, some go there in stages, some lose the will to fly, some free birds have cages. I used to love the sound of that whippoorwill, but it haunts him now and it always will. Reminds him how they used to sing along. She flew away and now the music's gone, gone. And now she's gone. Some wings kiss the sky, Some go there in stages. Some lose the will to fly, and some free birds have cages. Some lose the will to fly, some free birds have cages.